Today is about range racing. And what I mean by that is that today, being the fastest doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the best. Being the fastest today doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win this race, because this is a track which brings anybody into the place to go and battle. All you need to do is stay behind 3-4 tenths of a second, have that ability to push forward, and victory is in your grasp. We are #GamerConnect today here as your Indian eRacing Championship. The Pro Series goes to round 7 here today from the Daytona International Speedway, a place where anything is very much possible on the road course. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the action here on IR Esports. I'm Jake Sperry here in at the commentary box, and of course all the racing action is brought to you today by the Mumbai Falcons, and of course Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited are an Indian brand passionate about promoting motorsport in India. Mumbai Falcons are undertaking several initiatives to innovate and positively impact the entire motorsports ecosystem and its related facilities. Their overall vision is to develop supporting projects which impacts motorsport and the next generation of automotive developments. Mumbai Falcons envision to build a futuristic hub aided by a racetrack which will serve as a multi-platform environment for innovative auto-related companies, provide educational excellence in a plethora of related fields, and also provide for a wholesome family experience. On top of that, today we are of course joined once again by Volkswagen Motorsport, who launched the Polo Cup in 2010, marking their entrance into Indian motorsport. The aim was to provide a platform for young drivers to begin professional racing and display their skills on a national level. And since then, they have produced many race drivers who have progressed on to race internationally. But here in the National Championship, the eRacing Championship, it's about trying to get the best results possible. Qualifying at this stage is currently underway. We've got ourselves 5 3/4 minutes before that all comes to a close, but we've got eyes here on Mohammed Ibrahim, who missed the opening round of the season, or the opening 2 rounds of the season, but yet through all of this, 4 straight wins in terms of his season, has been unbeaten so far in the field, and finds only 3 points behind the main championship leader at the moment. If there is anybody who is to be out there and challenging and racing to a high level, it is Mohammed Ibrahim, who is the yardstick to beat here today in terms of this circuit now. Trying to make this big push through the left and the right here of the bus stop chicane. This is the free to race layout here of this wonderful circuit. As you can see, all the drivers are taking off of the banking here today and going underneath the apron, which is allowed by the series organisers, so everyone is going to be trying to find as much time as possible. It's very bumpy up there on the banking, so it can very easily go wrong in the blink of an eye. You can see straight lining the drive here is Mohammed Ibrahim, who gets a 1:43.9 on the board then for the first retrospective lap of his run today, and really flinging the car there, the F3 in, and too much you could say, because that is an off-track instant point, a cut track, a slowdown penalty, and a lap which is invalidated because of that. There is the championship leader just behind in terms of time. That's Sai Prithvi there in second position at the moment, trying to find everything that's possibly needed right now. Is currently nearly half a second back at the moment. Amit Kuti, the reigning champion, is there in third position at this point in time, and everything is looking quite nicely here for these 3 at the front, to again have a really good scrap today. They'll be racing incredibly hard over the course of this one, and the results from today go to tomorrow with a top 12 inverted grid feature, and that's going to be worth really keeping in mind here as we see Amit Kuti making his way through the West Horseshoe and now looking over towards the banking once again out on track. So a lot of work to be done then in terms of trying to find the right laps around this place. It's one where the draft is going to be so crucial, and we're going to be seeing drivers looking to position themselves over the course of racing here today. You can very easily lose it over the course of action down in the infield section, but then when you get out to this fast and ferocious part of the track, it's all about what is needed. But we're going to step aside very briefly for one moment. We'll be back with the rest of qualifying after this. battles we've seen so far have been really entertaining, just as entertaining as Indian karting scene is starting to get to right now. There's a spinner on the left-hand side of the screen there, running into troubles with the green cone as well, locked into the wing. So that would suggest that someone who's just come out of the pit. There is Siddharth Medirata here at this moment. So Medirata there in 4th position, having a really good qualifying at this stage. Haven't seen much of Siddharth over the course of this season so far, but to be in 4th position is a really strong result at this stage here going forward. Has only started last time out at Okayama, so it's going to be looking to try and get some points in really quickly because time is of the essence. Did just bump down though into 5th place here in qualifying with a minute and a half to go. Drivers will be allowed the ability to finish their laps as long as they go on and start it, and this could be a place where drivers who don't necessarily get the best qualifying still have that ability to go out and make everything work, as this place often, time and time again, has brought great racing. Who can forget Max Verstappen having a brilliant run in the Porsche Esports Super Cup qualifying here at Daytona, winning by a solitary thousandth of a second in those Porsche 911 Cup cars. But here is Medirata trying to improve on time, going to make the run, and it's a 44.9, so that is definitely no improvement there in terms of the lap times. You got Sai Saran having a good run at the moment, up into 4th place. You'd take that to the bank and cash it every single day of the week if you find yourself up in 4th, but we've got ourselves 30 seconds to go before qualifying laps are effectively put into last chance mode. You can see how aggressive drivers are going under that yellow line, trying to navigate as much time as possible around this place. And of course, because they aren't getting up to the high speeds that other cars and other vehicles have been able to here in these Formula 3s, of course that inside will help more than any banking and that centrifugal force could ever do. 44.7 from Sai Saran, stays in 4th for the time being, but qualifying laps are done. They've got 2.5 minutes to set them, as everyone will be making pushes over towards the line. If anybody can find the times, then that is going to be what they're going to have their focus on here at the moment. That mid-pack looks incredibly tight at the moment, as I just seen Belwaria jump up into 12th position, promotion from the amateur category to the pro division for Ujwal Belwaria up into 12th place. That will be a nice little look to see things going forward. You got the likes of Vijay Rayaj there trying to get close. You got of course Kaushik there towards the back as well, who hasn't yet set a representative lap time, so all of these times are going to be needed. Saran here making progress out onto the oval. Once again, one of 2 incredibly quick ovals that house NASCAR racing at the moment, the other one being the Talladega Super Speedway. When you get to a super speedway, if you're going along the banking, 2 miles, this banking is on the right hand side. It's always going to be a tough place to make sure everything is working out for these drivers. Saran trying to find as much as possible here out of this. You can see going through the left, going through the right. It's got to be nice and narrow and trying to carry as much speed as possible through the bus stop. And now back down onto the apron, so to speak, heading through the final corner here. Of course, the new Daytona layout has managed to put a chicane down in at this section for the NASCAR drivers. You can get that on the iRacing service as a new layout here, but for the time being, Sai Saran looking for more time. 42-43, making the push to the line. It's a 44.6 there at the moment, so does not change. It will be Ibrahim Kuti Prithvi, and then it is Saran in 4th position. Then you got Medirata with Budaraja 5th and 6th, Kumar in 7th, and Mohan Raja in 8th position. It is Banu Teja in 9th, and Yedra rounding out the top 10, and there is Raiden Samravel in 11th place. We're going to be back with the race though very shortly. We'll be back after this. up procedure then starts here at Daytona, and this is going to be an awkward start for all of these drivers. It's a banked start, a standing start here today, so those drivers who are up on the high side are going to be funneling down lower and lower as this one goes on. As they put the power down, it's going to be very easy to spin the car up if you get it all wrong. Mohammed Ibrahim on the pole position, Amit Kuti alongside Sai Prithvi, they're the championship leader in third. Sai Saran starts fourth with Siddharth Medirata in fifth and Raghav Budaraja in sixth place. There is Niranjan Kumar and Kaushik Mohan Raja, they're rounding out the top eight. Following that is Banu Teja and Pratamesh Yedra rounding out the top 10. Raiden Samravel and Ujwal Belwaria have row 6 with Sohil Shah and Ankit Tyagi there on row 7. Osan Kothadia there in 15th place with Kevin there in 16th position overall. As we look further back to the other drivers here in this one, you've got Vishwas Vijayaraj there in 17th, Chevlin Fernandez 18th, not a good qualifying here today. Ankit Roy and Sunil Kukta there round out the top 20. Then you've got Rohit Raut, Karan Kaushik and one more to add to the party as well. 23 drivers will be taking to the grid. Only one will pick up the victory, and while the form book has something very firmly in mind here today, they have 2 minutes to grid up, or they start from that place known as pit lane here today. But we're going to get ourselves ready. We're going to get ourselves looking at who's got what it takes. You've got there Mohammed Ibrahim at the front in the pink, the blue alongside there as they get themselves going, and racing starts for 20 minutes. An immediate good start then from Mohammed Ibrahim, exactly what is needed as they funnel pretty much single file just behind as they head in towards the opening section of road for the very first time. It looks like it's all nice and calm through the front 5 drivers at this stage. A little bit of side by side going on for 6th and 7th though at the moment as they funnel through to the International Horseshoe, and that looks like Ibrahim's run wide at the front of the field, and through goes, spinner, just like that, easily done. But Mohammed Ibrahim has lost the race lead outright here and is immediately going to try and fight that one back here against Amit Kuti, the reigning champion. Mohammed Ibrahim with the mistake on the brakes, the cold brakes here at the International Horseshoe. Coming out to the West Horseshoe though, looks immediately like he wants to try and make a move, but it is Amit Kuti out in front. Mohammed Ibrahim there in second position, and thankfully Sai Prithvi in third. They all dive under the apron here to go through the left-hand bends and make sure that they do not run into any troubles here today over the course of racing. Ibrahim looking to the high side to try and get this one done, trying to take the racing line away. It will be a false defensive line as they go side by side to the fantastic bus stop chicane, but crucially, move done nicely there on the inside. It's well held by Amit Kuti there at the front, but again, it's all about this run here that's going on through. There's Niranjan Kumar, there's a spinner there from 5th position on the road. It is Sai Saran who was 4th even at the time going around, and there we catch it on the slow-mo, just seeing the back step out, trying to put the power down a little too early at an unsettled point in time. Saran drops down to 17th. Side by side again though, here for the race lead as they pretty much hit the rev limiters. They go on through. Kuti though has got enough to defend it at the moment. You could see how close they were when they came over the line, 600ths of a second. Budaraja up into 4th place, but everybody looking to try and find position on position on position to the outside again, looking here to try and make the move, but again it's not quite working. We know that Mohammed Ibrahim over 1 lap pace is the quickest driver out of anybody, but the big key here at the moment is that Amit Kuti is able to match that by defending from the front, which is all he needs to do here in terms of picking up this result and getting exactly what is needed out of this one. Sai Prithvi will be very happy just to sit behind and wait and see that mistakes could be happening from those front 2 at the moment. One driver didn't make the start, that's Karan Kaushik there, who has dropped miles back down the order, but Mohammed Ibrahim here needs to find his places. 4 unbeaten at the moment. Nobody has managed to find the tools, even in reverse grid races, to beat Mohammed Ibrahim. But it looks like it's going to be a case of which way do you go. It's the same old story here at the moment. It's the outside for Mohammed Ibrahim, the inside there for Amit Kuti. And once more as they go through, this time they're going to hold it too wide. Both of them into the fence. And just like that, both of them are out of the event with a huge accident. Mohammed Ibrahim tried to hold it around the outside. And just looking at this one as they went on through, oh, I'm not sure how much you can really put put there on Mohamed Ibrahim. That looked like Amit Kuti tried to take the natural line, was not expecting too wide. Suddenly Christmas comes early, and just like that, it is going to be Sai Prithvi in the lead. We're going to have our first new winner since the opening round of the season, and it's going to be Oshan Kothadia here in third position, having this scrap at the moment. Looking around the outside, there is Naranjan Kumar trying to get that one, and no, not going to quite find that move just yet. But through all of the excitement, through everything that has been going on, there is so much action that goes along here with these sorts of championships, and when you find out just how amazing things can go, we've also got a little quiz for you as well to go on top of that. Firstly, who was the international male driver for the Mumbai Falcons racing team? Secondly, who was the international female driver for the Mumbai Falcons racing team? And thirdly, who were the Indian drivers for the Mumbai Falcons racing team? If you can get all three of those questions correctly, you can be putting yourself in for a prize in the not too distant future. So make sure that you put yourself in the comments and start talking about it at the moment. Sai Prithvi leads this one, 2.4 seconds clear of Budiraja in second position. Then it's Kothadia in third place, and there is Raghav Budiraja there trying to get around drivers that's needed. Oshan Kothadia there in third position right now. It's having a good run. Someone else who's having a good run here is Vijay Raj here, who's made great progress over the course of this lap, has jumped up from 12th to 8th place over the course, has dropped backwards, through a number of positions now. Look at this behind Naranjan Kumar right now. You got Yedra, Belwaria, Samaravel's there, Vijay Raj, you got Fernandez, Roy, Rout, all there, and there is Ujwal Belwaria trying to go the long way around. He's got to be careful about jumping on the banking, because you can just damage that front wing. There is Medirata there just behind, and Ryden Samravel's in the middle of this as well, looking like he's about to lose a place out on track there on the outside, trying to get this move going on through, and not quite there for the moment. But you can see at this, it's more too wide in front, as there goes the place for Pratamesh Yedra. He goes up into fifth one for that time being, and goes through crucially there on, I believe, Naranjan Kumar. So that is the change of position going on in the middle of the pack, which was oh so very, very needed here in terms of the battling that they've got going on. Every point means so much to these drivers in the mid-pack scrap. And let's not forget at this stage either, as that is an around the outside, a little bit too deep from Ujwal Belwaria even, who was trying to have that scrap and trying to get through. When you have to fight around this place, it's so easy to get it wrong. But these drivers are fighting for points, and not just any points. These are big points they're fighting for, because of the fact that the leading two in the race took each other out earlier on here in this one, and that's going to mean that there is more points in the prize pool for them to try and really gain up some big eyes here, as Belwaria again looking to the outside to try and make this one happen. Gets a great run through the first left, of course, turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR banking, goes around the outside and makes sure to get it, but Belwaria is not clear, not by any stretch of the imagination here. And look at that, a big jank over to the right hand side to try and make sure that there is room to try and make this move, as Ujwal Belwaria is doing just enough at this stage to maintain that fifth place. There you can see the fantastic green machine in sixth, and look at this from Samaravel. He might try and get down the inside of all of them here to try and make this one happen, but cannot find a way through. Is slightly boxed in there on that inside. Has got to be really careful about how he goes and makes that move. They're down on the inside, on the brakes, into turn numbers 1 and 2 once again, and Samaravel picks up 1 and jumps up then into the 6th position overall. The move done on Pratamesh Yedra there, just getting exactly what was needed. So Yedra with work to do to gain those places back, and has a big lunge over to the right hand side. Had to half catch that one a bit, and has the nose chopped off slightly as well, heading through the kink towards the West Horseshoe. Always going to be a tough place here to see some battling going on side by side through that section. Often ends up going the wrong way. If you've seen any 24-hour racing at Daytona, you know that when you got two vehicles going through there, it's normally a case of hold on to your hats, people, as you go through there. But no, there goes Pratamesh Yedra going around there right in the middle. Has to be careful about the rejoin here, and just about escaped in 9th place there, dropping another one. I think that's Chevlin Fernandez there going on through and gaining a place. So everyone finding some time. Remember, Chevlin Fernandez got 3rd all the way back at the Nürburgring. So now for Chevrolet here, jumping up into 8th place after starting today in 17th. This is a really good run and a great recovery of points for Chevrolet Fernandez here in the championship. Here is your race leader though, Sai Prithvi, 3.4 clear of Budiraja in second and Kothadia in third. It's a further 1.8 seconds back of all of that at the moment. Oh, car over there. I didn't quite catch who that was there, and that looks like a massive accident there with Pratamesh Yedra up and over again. I'm not quite sure who that was, but it looks like it could have been Yadav who had ran into those troubles then and has retired the car out of the race, maybe with Vijay Araj. They're going on through, so both of those drivers run themselves into trouble and effectively find themselves with not much that they can really have a smile about after the course of this racing. But there is a reason why Raghav Bujaraja is trying to chase this down, and look at this from Kothadia as they're just about sneaking through. There is I believe that is a fantastic run from Niranjan Kumar. It is up into third place, so steals off the run that was so very needed and picks up a brilliant third place overall. So for the time being, Niranjan Kumar is the driver on a mission right now. Second place isn't a million miles away here in this one, so time to go and chase. But let's have a little talk about this race leader. Leads the championship by 3 points to Sai Prithvi. Had a little chat earlier on.
My name is Sai Prithvi. I'm from Chennai. Racing, my main hobby is reading and playing video games. I actually started playing video games and then I moved on to real life racing. I always get nervous before a race. Especially these league races have been made me extremely nervous, but that nervous is good because I believe that if you're nervous, it means that you care.
So there was the conversation that we had with Sai Prithvi earlier on in the week that we've had going on, and it is worth noting that Sai Prithvi has not won a single race so far this season. Hails from Chennai, and we'll be looking to try and get as much as possible after this. But there is Kothadia going back around the outside of Niranjan Kumar to pick up the place as they head to the International Horseshoe once more. It's a 4-car scrap going on for one spot on the podium. There's Niranjan Kumar in 4th place, but then you got Ujwal Belwaria there in 5th, and behind that you've got Raiden Samaravel, who's looking like he's having a fantastic run of things at the moment in that 6th position. That's Brave down the inside there of the West Horseshoe. He's run it slightly deep though, and that's going to allow the cut back here for Ujwal Belwaria. Some Noah's Ark racing here. They're too wide, they're too deep as they go into the next left-hand bend, and Belwaria on the outside has to yield, but crucially Kothadia there just about holds it, gets a little squirrely on the banking, has to get back down onto the apron here for the way that they will all run this one here at the what we could call legacy circuit of Daytona. There is a more newer scan in the system that they've got at the moment, but some brilliant work here. Again to the outside tries Niranjan Kumar and Oshan Kothadia, who quite kindly falls back into line. Raiden Samaravel gets back ahead then of Ujwal Belwaria into 5th place as they all go through. It's all nice and calm at this stage, but Belwaria immediately wants to start getting aggressive here. It's all about positioning here in a train like this. If you're fighting in the middle of a massive pack, you have to make sure that you are right on it at this moment in time. You can't afford to sit, you can't afford to wait. You've got to bide your time and make sure you make the right moves. Look at Samaravel, they're all closing in on each other, fanning up here on the oval banking as they head towards turn 1. Look at Samaravel, he's got to think about which way to go, and there's a little bit of contact there. Round goes 2 as there was Kothadia and also Niranjan Kumar coming together, and you could see it from this. I want a little different angle of this one here. I wonder how much of that one came down in. Oh, it was 2 into 1, the natural line trying to be taken there by one Mr. Kothadia, but Kumar was taking that wider line. He could dictate the pace from where he was at the front of the field, and just like that, Oshan Kothadia is back into 5th, and Raiden Samaravel finds the podium at this stage, but has to go up against one of the rookies here in this one, in Ujwal Belwaria, if there is to be any sort of other fight going on for that 3rd position overall here in this race. And it is worth talking about here how Ujwal Belwaria is doing at this stage, as that run no races so far in this season. This is his debut in the Pro Championship, and if you can pick up a podium on debut, that is exactly what drivers will be hoping that they are going to get. 5 laps to go according to the counter at this stage. Sai Prithvi 4.7 seconds clear over Bruja Raja there in second place, and Niranjan Kumar back down in 6th, with Raiden Samaravel currently holding on to the 3rd place. There are brilliant battles up and down the order here in this one, and crucially Mohammed Ibrahim is back out and is still racing here in 13th position. Now this is crucial because this is all about damage limitation for Mohammed Ibrahim. He's 15 seconds off of Prathamesh Yedra. There is Amit Kuti down in 20th, so Mohammed Ibrahim looks like is going to be in a much better position to pick up those points compared to the way that Amit Kuti is, because Kuti had to deal with the blown engine to get back out on circuit and racing once more, both of whom had to take the tow as well. There is Siddharth Medaratta in 8th place at this stage. A quiet run so far from Siddharth Medaratta, and there's not much you can really say aside from 8th place is a decent haul of points. But there is Samaravel under that pressure from Ujwal Belwaria, who wants to go up into 3rd place, but Samaravel is having none of it at the moment as they go through the left of the kink, looking for the next right of the West Horseshoe Bend, and on the brakes it's not quite there at the moment for Ujwal Belwaria. On paper this seems like such an easy circuit if you looked at it from an aerial perspective and a track map. Oh, it's just a couple of 90-degree hairpins and a big long banked section. What's the challenge? The challenge is it's so high speed and you've got to stay within range. This is all about managing how good you are battling in close quarters, car to car. This isn't one where skill is going to win you this race. It's going to be all about the mental game and mental placements, and we've seen that earlier on. Ujwal Belwaria wants to get in close, wants to find those positions, wants to find exactly what's needed here, trying to get on through here through the right and the left here of this next section, and we'll pick up the draft once again. We'll pick up that toe and try and get the run through, but it's taking a much more narrower line through this section. Samaravel was a lot wider here, and this is going to allow Belwaria to attack up the banking, forced up the banking slightly there, actually going forward. That wouldn't have been nice there. Raiden Samaravel is making his vehicle as wide as possible as they both take to the banking here through the tri-oval to try and get through towards turn numbers 1 and 2 again. Belwaria's run was absolutely stopped at the moment, but some things also don't need to be stopped as much. We're going to step aside for about 10 seconds here. Back with more after this. Someone who needs wings right now is Ujwal Belwaria. He needs to find a way through here on Raiden Samaravel in the scrap for the podium here. They've got 3 laps to work this one out, and there you can see Samaravel a little slow on the exit, just about has enough road though to really find a good run here through the left-hand bend and onto the oval banking and down onto the apron once more as they go through NASCAR 1 and 2, heading towards the left-right chicane of the bus stop. Again, Belwaria is going to look high side to try and pick up this run on the banking, but Raiden Samaravel is just very, very cautiously placing the car in all the right places, and you can't really argue against this battle at the moment. Into the chicane they go. Medaratta's made some great progress. He's found the Rajan Kumar, who is struggling a little bit, it seems, with damage to the front left of the wing, and that's not going to be very useful at all. Sorry, that's Ankit Roy there who is going to be overtaken. So Ankit Roy is going to drop back the place here into 8th there, as that is Medaraja going up into 7th place. So, sorry, Medaratta, I should say. So Siddharth Medaratta into 7th. Ankit Roy drops back down into 8th place at the progress on the oval and trying to make sure that everything is going to be all okay from now until the end of this one. Only a handful of laps here. Sai Prithvi is going to be going on and starts the final lap of the race then here at Daytona. We'll be back tomorrow night with more action and a 12-car reverse grid. And what's crucial here is that Mohammed Ibrahim starts 13th, so he'll be outside of that grid specification. Is Usman Belwaria though still hoping there's a podium on the horizon, and will need to try and find a way through sooner rather than later here. On the brakes into the International Horseshoe, looking for the right time to make the move. It's not quite there, not quite forthcoming, but it may just have to be a banking overtake if you're going to try and make this one happen. Belwaria here through the left-hand kink over towards the West Horseshoe. You can really get a good run here if you're good on the brakes, and Belwaria takes the big wide line and has to back out of the corner because that was a wider apex taken there by one Mr. Raiden Samaravel, who is using his vehicle expertly to defend against Belwaria. He's doing exactly what he doesn't want, but wide goes Samaravel. There is Sai Prithvi though, who leads this race outright and is absolutely motoring here towards the chicane. There's Raghav Budaraja in second position, and the third place battle still going on right now as Ujwal Belwaria searches for the podium on debut. But for Sai Prithvi at this stage, who is going through the final corner right now and is looking to make that progress over towards the line, he leads the championship without a race victory. Well, you can scratch that off, because this is the perfect case of chance falling into your hands. Sai Prithvi wins and extends the championship lead with victory here at Daytona. It is Raghav Budaraja who will come home with second place on a very understated and quiet drive, and it's a drag race for third as Ujwal Belwaria is forced to go to the high side. He's got the overlap, he's got the place, he's stolen one on the line against Raiden Samaravel, who has to settle for fourth place over the start-finish line by 16 thousandths of a second only. Some wonderful, wonderful racing that has been going on today, and all of which came about after the top two ran into each other. Siddharth Medorata there finishes in 7th ahead of Ankit Roy in 8th place, and crucially Chevlin Fernandez jumps ahead of Rout there in 10th in the last stages. So Rohit Rout gets the top 10 come the end of things, and there is Prathamesh Yedra as well, who will be coming to the line in 11th. And what will be key is who is in 12th place, and it's Kaushik Mohan Raja at this stage, 9 seconds clear of Mohammed Ibrahim, and crucially will have the pole position for the next race. And what's also going to be key here is that Mohammed Ibrahim will have to make the start from 13th and make progress all the way throughout. Confirmation of results: Sai Prithvi wins in 11.5 second margin over Raghav Budaraja, with Ujwal Belwaria in third. Raiden Samaravel gets fourth with Narajan Kumar fifth, and it's Oshan Kothadia in sixth and Siddharth Medorata in seventh. Ankit Roy and Chevlin Fernandez are eighth and ninth, and Rohit Rout rounded out the top 10. Prathamesh Yedra and Kaushik Mohan Raja will have the front row tomorrow here at Daytona for the reverse grid race, as we flick on over hopefully towards the second page of results and see how everybody is fanning out with that. It will be Mohammed Ibrahim who will be in 13th position through all of that, but some brilliant racing action has come into fruition from this one, and we have this opportunity to start talking to drivers who have had some brilliant racing results. I think it's safe to say that one fell into your hands a little bit. You never like to see an accident, but when it's the top two and your main title contenders behind you, this is the big race that now gives you that buffer hole that you want in the championship.
Yeah, this was basically a gifted win for me, to be honest. I did not expect that. I had a pretty terrible qualifying in the beginning. I went off track twice, which cost me my lap. I could have been much closer to them. And in the race, I was pretty confident with my race pace and I wanted to maintain it. But yeah, I still have a lot of homework to do if I have any hopes of holding on to this lead.
Well, homework to do, of course. This is a quote-unquote 8-week championship, 16 rounds, and we're looking towards the halfway stage in the championship in the not too distant future. But it seemed like it was just a case of consolidation throughout the second half of that race. You really didn't have anything to worry about. How easy is it just to get your head down and just try and put laps here at Daytona, knowing that if you have any driver within, a second and a half, you're going to find yourself in a case of being in battles?
As I mentioned before, I just wanted to focus on my own race. Once I saw them both go off, I knew I had to focus and make sure that I bring it home safely. It was quite tense, to be honest, but I think I managed it pretty well.
And well, with the news that Mohammed Ibrahim couldn't find his way up inside the top 12, your life effectively gets even easier than that when it comes to tomorrow in the reverse grid race, because you find yourself in 12th, your main rival is right behind you in 13th. So what's the thought process when it comes to now trying to gear up for what's going to be racing tomorrow? Do you feel that you are suitably in a position where you can try and work together, maybe in some friendly cooperation with Mohammed Ibrahim to try and fight later, or are you looking to just try and find as many places as possible in what has been some very chaotic racing when it's come to the reverse grid?
Yeah, considering the history of this track, there have been many crashes before. So expecting a safety car would be a probable thing to do. And also, as he's right behind me, I wouldn't count him out. The plan is probably to just hold on and make sure I can stay behind him and wait for incidents ahead and avoid all of them, and try and get a podium position at the end.
Well, some amazing result for you here. Your first win of the season. It's one that extends your championship lead up over 25 points. So before we let you go, shout out sponsors. Anyone you'd like to thank for picking up race victory here at Daytona?
I would like to start off by thanking eRacing for this opportunity, and Mumbai Falcons, Volkswagen Motorsport, Red Bull India, Indy Karting, and Rayo Racing. Without these guys, this wouldn't have been possible.
Well, Sai Prithvi picks up a fantastic race win overall and can be absolutely happy with the way the race has gone. But I do want to have a little chat with Amit Kuti here at the moment, because Amit, that's not quite the way you wanted that race to go. You finish out, well, in and around the lower half of the field, and after having that battle for the race lead, you got the race lead early on from a mistake. But what happened from your perspective in terms of your incident with Mr. Ibrahim?
Without these guys, this wouldn't have been.
So in the race start, I actually think I made a really nice move.
Fantastic race win
I think,
overall and can be absolutely happy with the way the race has gone. But I do want to have a little chat with Amit Kuti here at the moment, because Amit, that's not quite the way you wanted that race to go. You finish out, well, in and around the lower half of the field, and after having that battle for the race lead, you got the race lead early on from a mistake. But what happened from your perspective in terms of your incident with
he
Mr.
was in my
Ibrahim?
blind spot as well, and I didn't think he would try for a move there, because he could have easily just stayed behind and tried to get my slipstream and overtake me on the next straight. But yeah, things ended up bad for both of us, and yeah, that was an incident I'd like to forget about.
Especially seeing as you've gone on a run of some not too brilliant results. Okayama was definitely a meeting that I'm sure you wanted to forget, and now all the work's going to have to be done again. All three of the championship contenders are going to be starting in and around 12th, 13th and onwards back. So you've got a lot of work to do to make that progress through the field again, but surely here at Daytona it's a little bit easier than some other places to go out and make places.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, if I don't have any issues with my wheel that I'm experiencing currently, it should definitely be a good race, especially Daytona last season, I won from 12th place, so that encourages me a little bit to know that overtaking is really nice here, a lot of slipstream, and hopefully I can make up for today.
Well, Amit Kuti there not getting the result that was wanted here, but a controversial incident here really wasn't part of the script. I'm going to see if I am able to jump in with Oshan Kothadia ever so quickly. Oshan, do you have me?
Yes. Hi.
6th place here today, so a pretty good result, but the talking point for you would have been your incident coming into turn number 1 with Narayan Kumar. Was that just the case for you of just trying to take the natural racing line, and then it was a case where Narayan Kumar just wanted to take the wide line?
Yeah, just the lap before, it was a funny incident because just the lap before, I was on the inside and I held my inside line and I still made the corner and I overtook him. So I thought that since he has the inside, he still had an advantage. And but he just decided to take the wide line, so I had nowhere to go and I hit him, which was a bit surprising. And then after that, the car was not the same, unfortunately. So it's still a good score, I would say, considering the crash.
Definitely a good score, 6th position, especially with some of the main contenders running into troubles here today. You've got to be very, very happy with the result that you've gotten. But now your focus will turn to tomorrow. It's a reverse grid race. You start from 7th place on the grid, which is a pretty good place to start, I would say, with everything that's going along. And so with that sort of thought process going through your mind, knowing that you've got drivers here today who finished behind by nearly a minute, is it going to be a case of getting places early and hoping that the drivers behind run themselves into more troubles like they did today?
Yeah, well, my goal for today was just to keep out of trouble because I've already missed 2 races in the beginning of the season. So all I said was, okay, just keep out of trouble, be safe. And yeah, by lap 1, I was already in top 10. So yeah, it became quite clear that everyone is just committing mistakes. So I'm just going to stick to my strategy. And somehow, yeah, I ended up being in the podium position fight. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't fructify.
Well, Oshan there with a great run. Oshan Kothadia, 6th place, can be happy with that despite the incident that happened here today. But that's going to bring an end to proceedings over the course of racing here at Daytona. But come back tomorrow. There's going to be more racing tomorrow. There's going to be some great racing tomorrow. There's going to be 2 races tomorrow. There's your IERC Junior Race 4, which will be coming up, as well as the 8th Pro Race, which does have the reverse grid to go alongside that as well. It's going to be absolutely sensational. A massive thanks has to go to Rayo Racing, Ind Karting, hashtag Gamer Connect, Volkswagen Motorsport, the Mumbai Falcon Racing Limited team, and to Red Bull India as well. So amazing racing has come along once again. But the championship leaders' lead extends and is best place out of himself and the rivals to go out and battle in the reverse race tomorrow. This is going to be all to play for, and the only place you can find it is with IR Esports. We'll catch you very, very soon. We'll catch you in about 23 hours.